So two things we have covered. Number one, first thing, the examiner, all the statements matter, the coverage of the syllabus, balance approach, all these things, examiner expectation and the balance approach. Now, what inside the syllabus? You must have to aware that these list of the syllabus areas must be in your notebook or at the system as a checklist. If I say that accounting standard, 55-60% of the syllabus, you can split the accounting standard in 4 parts. Number 1, group accounts. Number 2, group accounts and 2, 3, 4. Group accounts and other accounting standards. Other accounting standards, number 2, extensive. Number 3, less extensive. Number 4, prior knowledge. Do remember, prior knowledge accounting standards, it's not says that prior level standard, for example, IS 38, IS 16, IS 36, examiner are least concerned to examine. No, examiner even examine in a very extensive mode for all accounting standards. These are the list of group accounts. I am not reading it. I will share these things to you. These are the group accounts. You can make a list. Right side, the extensive accounting standard, IFRS 9, taxation, employee benefit, share-based payment, leasing, revenue from contracts, all these. Less extensive standard, left side, and right side, prior accounting knowledge. That's a point. Next point, performance measurement. About performance measurement, this is examiner statement. This is not my statement. Examiner says that some of the question with professional marks, by the way, there are 4 professional marks here. With section A, ethics question, 2 professional marks. With section B, the performance measurement, investor perspective, having 2 professional marks. So with some of the question are focused like investor, including professional marks. Conceptual framework. I know that students are very much reluctant and even least concerned in F3 and F7 paper, financial accounting, financial reporting paper. But here, about conceptual framework, what examiner says? To pass this exam, candidates required in-depth knowledge of conceptual framework. Good enough knowledge of the conceptual framework. I suggest whatever, from wherever you are taking the tuition or even with the Kaplan book or the BBB book, read the book thoroughly and not only read just notes, also apply with some questions, conceptual framework. To remember conceptual framework for SBR latest exams, it's apply the 2018 latest development of conceptual framework, not the 2010 conceptual framework. Ethics. Code of conducts, principles, rules, procedures. Ethics, that's a part of the SBR exam. A fixed question of question 2, section A, question 2, 20 marks question. Out of that 20 marks question, 7 marks related to ethical issue. 7 marks related to ethical issue. 7 marks related to ethical issue. Sometimes examiner asks very standard things. Sometimes having some complexities, apply the proper rules of the ethical standards and considering the threats aspect as well. Examiner is very much concerned about how to handle the real accounting world issues about ethics. So need a good practice. Current development. Examiner examine the current development with different aspects. Yes, One of the things, for example, including the current development, for example, current changes in accounting standards, the drafts, current changes, new changes in accounting standards is coming on, the drafts, exposure drafts. If examiner examine the exposure drafts matter, examiner never expect that you have a very detailed knowledge. The detailed knowledge, detailed insight will not examine just a basics, if something about accounting issues. But it's never possible that examiner only examine the current development about accounting standard changes or like this. There is very wider aspect about the current development. For example, current real business scenarios with respect to current business scenarios, for example, cryptocurrency, for example, climate change, for example, pandemic. So you need, it's not something about standard answer that you just learn the thing or mug up or memorize. Examiner expecting your views. For example, December 22 exam, examiner examined the climate change aspect. At one time, examiner examined the pandemic issue, COVID. Examiner examined the cryptocurrency matter. It's not necessary that, and it's never happened, in fact, that examiner examined the 100% one question related to current development. It's only part. And sometimes examiner play the game as a psychology, twist you. For example, December 22, question number 4, section B, question 2, or in totality, question number 4. Question start with climate change aspect. But believe me, here maximum 6 to 7 marks related to climate change. The rest of the 17, 18 marks, it's a general accounting standard issues. So read the question. Reading of the question is also an art. We will discuss this point accordingly. Anyways, you will cover the things accordingly. I will guide you. SBR, pass exam, some diagnosis. One of the diagnoses I have already shared, the proportion of exam. Number 1, you know very well, section A, 2 compulsory question, 50 marks. That's question 1, 30, question 2, 20. 2 compulsory question, 25 multiplied by 2. Now one by one. Section A, question number 1, 30 marks. 30 marks question, it's about group, anything with the group accounts, including cash flows. That's major marks, not complete 30 marks. Examiner will never examine the making of the consolidated accounts. Yes, question number 1 structure is going to change from September 23 till June 22. The structure are same. Sir, what is going on or what the change will happen? I will make another video about this, but a very little bit that it's not from September 23. It's not about to making consolidation. Yes, it's about some workings with the numeric form. So some of the sheet prepared consolidation already available. You need to make a adjustment over the consolidation. Or for example, consolidated accounts or extract of the accounts are given with some errors. You need to adjust with the spreadsheet. So working structure with the spreadsheets available. But it's not the point for March 23 and June 23 exam aspects. Not to worry. Other marks related to other accounting standard or maybe the current development. That's the point. 2 things you need to remember. With 30 marks question, Ethics will never examine here. Number one. Number two, yes, out of 30 marks, for example, 22, 23, 24 marks related to, or 20 marks related to group accounts matter, and remaining part related to other area of the syllabus, performance measurement, other accounting standard issue, current developments. And another important point, group accounts also available. Group accounts also uh, examine with other area of the paper as well. In past history, examiner examine group accounts compulsory at question 1 and IFRS 10 issues and other issues as well, business combination, business definition issues with the section B, 7 marks, 6 marks. It's possible. And it's also possible to incorporate the things with the ethics question. So group accounts matter, compulsory examine majority marks with question 1, but that may examine other area of the syllabus, other area of the paper as well, anywhere. Candidates, can you please apply me? You are taking the live session. Are you with me? Oh, that's good. Moreover, section A, question 2, 20 marks. That is the case of accounting. That's IFRS, and also includes ethical implication. General theory may also be examined, like ethical responsibility of professional accountant or ACCA code of ethics. Section 2, 7 marks standard for ethics. But examiner nowadays examine multiple issue, multiple dimension issue related to ethics. You need to practice with a good command how apply the ethical matters with a different real world situation. What principles are compromising? What are the particular threats here? That is the point. Further, we will discuss later about the ethics details. So section A, 50 marks question, A or B to some extent structure, but section B, it's not a structure. It's not a structure. We just know 25 marks question. Examiner examine any part of the syllabus except ethics, accounting standard, performance measurement, current development, impact the current development issues, group accounts matters, whatever. These are discussion based. And calculation as well. Now SBR practice questions. These are the practice questions. And I strongly suggest these next slides, you must have to be very much motivated, committed, that for remaining time period, you have to self-attempt these questions with exam conditions. If you really attempt these questions, with the exam conditions, you will definitely able to qualify exam. But how? Now listen carefully. Listen carefully. Number one, what is the right way for the practicing the SBR or practicing technique of the SBR? What is the right way? Now listen carefully. Very important point I'm discussing here. Just a moment. Yes. Listen carefully. What is the SBR drafting technique? What is the right way for the examiner technique, that how to perform the exam, how to perform the answer? And there is the one thing that is called pack. That is called pack. Sir, what is the meaning of pack? Pack means three things. Plan your answer. Number one, plan your answer. Number two, first you have to make a good plan. Read the question and make a good planning. Number one. Number two, apply the knowledge. Apply knowledge means, first of all, if you read a case study and you have identified that, okay, I have understand the case. Here, the issue about IS 36 impairment. So first of all, you have to write the knowledge of IS 36 and then connect with the scenario. Connect with the scenario. So number one, plan your answer. Number one, plan your answer. The first thing is this. Number two, apply the knowledge and then connect with the scenario. Planning is the key before attempting the question. I know that students are very much hurried during the exam, that we are just quickly start the answer. No, first of all, ask yourself, are you really are you really understand the case properly? You have to plan the things accordingly. I will share you a technique how to plan the question. Planning includes two things, I will tell you. Number one, plan about the time, plan about the marks. But first plan, then start the thing. And start the thing with the two aspects. Number one, the principles, that's called knowledge. Number two, application of the scenario, means connect with the scenario. That's a point. But how these principles apply, plan your answer, and all the things, I strongly suggest that take a short break, 2 to 3 minutes. Then I will share you a detailed aspect how to plan, how to apply the PAC principle completely. Take a short break, 2 to 3. Just re-energize yourself. Okay. So thank you very much for this part of the session. So next part after 2 minutes. Thank you.